the same.
Yeah, that's what happens
When you disappear for some time,
yeah, and then you make a comeback.
you make a come
Back.
right.
Yeah, so what's happening? Where have we been to?
We have been around, okay?
For so long.
So
For a minute. For a
couple of
minute.
months.
Couple of months. Yeah, but now we're back. This is
back.
Nairobi
Look how good
Theatre
this guy
Reviews. You look good too.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's go from there. Where are we? What channel
We
is
are at Rival
Yeah.
School, right?
Yeah.
The one at
Gitanga Road.
Gitanga Road.
Yeah.
And this is one of the auditoriums, if not the only.
Yeah.
And behind us is a set.
Yeah, as you can see, it's there's lots of windows of opportunity, maybe.
Opportunity windows. No doors.
Yeah,
But
just
opportunity windows.
The doors were closed, but the windows are.
But the windows are
accessible
wide open.
to you
Well,
guys.
they're not really.
Yeah.
But
so
no.
just some context.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're watching
We were watching a play called
KIRI.
Oh, Kiri.
The production company is
Khweva.
exactly
But the play is called Kiri.
KIRI.
And you could think that it's starring one person or it's centered on just one character, but there's a lot happening and it's a musical
Action-based.
actually.
Yes, it's an action-based musical. They should hire me. To
Yeah.
give them these names.
Yeah,
These
to
nice
like
slogans.
clarify for
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Action-based
Music.
musical.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just basically a story about sort of a money heist, a bank heist.
Bank heist.
Yeah.
A couple.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yeah.
Can't tell you too much because you have to come and watch. Because they'll be doing this
Yeah.
on the 22nd. It's the last day for you to catch
Come
the
to
show.
Raven Gitanga and watch it. Yeah.
You guys, you have to watch the show. This musical. We don't get a lot of musicals that are written in this country, practically, that have an orchestra hit that plays the most awesome sound.
Yeah. Originally composed and these guys have been rehearsing for the last how many months?
2 months
Yeah. They started in February.
in Feb.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine the kind of work that these guys have done, right?
Yo, yeah, there is dancing, there is good music. You know the kind of music that just makes you
Carries you,
just
lifts your soul.
dance kidogo tu sana.
Yeah.
While
Kiri.
there are lifts, okay,
Yeah.
those dance lifts. Come watch them here.
plates.
These people are not afraid to lift each other.
Of course.
Where?
Yeah.
Acrobats.
Yeah. Speaking of acrobatics, so is that what you like? What did you like? What are the aspects that maybe were closer to you or you most appreciated? Liking is much more relative. Yeah. What did you appreciate and what did you think would have been done otherwise or to make some things better?
So I'll start with what I really liked.
Yeah.
And of course you walk into the auditorium and you're hit by this set, right? And it hits you like you don't know what you're looking at in the beginning, but it takes a bit of your breath away. Yeah, it definitely takes your attention in, you focus. And then they start off with this lovely national anthem. They have deconstructed it and reconstructed it, and it is just
I thought that was the show.
we thought that was a show, but that was the beginning. Like, we are in.
Yeah.
I was in.
Yeah.
And then you're taken through the story of. It's not a new story.
Oh, yeah.
You know, bank robberies
Yeah.
and bank heists. You
And
know, what's
love.
money heist and love. They're always going together.
Yeah.
Somebody's being killed. Somebody.
So
You know,
that's-
there's guns. There's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really liked the. I can't say that I from there it took off, right?
Yeah.
So of course they started off with a hit like that song, and then they took off with all these they were giving us their bag. We didn't know where we were. We were like dropped in a room
like
with
in a banking hall.
exactly
Yes.
with all these voiceovers.
Yeah.
And you're listening, and I wish the sound could be more crisp, but I heard it, right? And all of a sudden you hear the sound.
announcement.
You hear the announcement, yes. And then all of a sudden you're dropped into the action. So many people writing.
And then it's a dance, the R&B, the 70s,
The 70s, they go in with like a Michael Jackson vibe. And you're like, this kid's not Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, not that one, not that one.
A little, a drop.
So that's what I really liked. Like it takes you right into it, right? The costume, the set, the action. Like all of a sudden you're in it, and a lady is robbing someone. So I could appreciate that.
Yeah.
They did not play around with gender here.
Yeah.
And I really like that. So what I wish they would have worked on now as a theater director
and
dramaturg and performer and list goes on.
Just did your one woman show
I just did a
the other
solo,
day.
which was nothing conventional, as they say. But this was also, they said that they were trying to push the conventional and be into the practice of the unconventional, right? And of course, so most of the musical was digging deeper. Like when you have a moment, and how can you stretch this moment and make it so exciting? Oh, I loved.
Yeah. Say
I
it.
love the smoke.
Oh yeah. The moments when
The smoke machine has been done so well.
yeah.
It created moments.
It's metaphor. Yeah.
Say more.
It's your time to say it. Just
Then you
finish.
say it. But you can always jump in.
Yeah.
No, I really love the way the smoke machine was used within the show to like push and add value.
Yeah.
And I really recommend for you guys to come and watch the show. You haven't watched anything like this.
Yeah. Have your Friday date here at the Brevin Theatre. Yeah.
So let's start off like that. I'll tell you what needs to be worked on after Jose has told us what he likes.
I think I maybe I'm biased, but I kind of like what you like.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
I appreciated the moments where the music was as authentic as it was, and it was communicating something.
Always
like
communicating.
I think these guys figured out on you don't just sing, but when it's necessary. So I like that fact, especially when our main character, our antagonists and our protagonists, when they were trying to communicate something, and there was actually this specific character whom we were like, where have you been all our lives?
All our lives.
Mr. Shaw, the guy who's playing
Goodness, everyone knows his name.
yeah,
Police.
the police officer who's taking us just a corrupt officer who's also trying to be a savior, but
Who's also
and he's
really trying to be a straight cop.
Yeah.
Like cops doing their jobs.
Just doing his job, and this is sort of a trickster in a way. Like he's gonna make you like him and hate him.
And I really hate him.
in equal measure.
In equal measure.
Yeah. So I love the fact that some actors actually understood their characters.
Yeah.
And one of them is that guy, Shaw.
Yes.
Yeah, I really
That guy is a
appreciated
star.
that. And even his costume design, whoever did the costume design, for the entire production, yes, and even for this cop to stand
Specifically
out.
for this cop.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
He was wearing like a red inside.
Yeah.
I mean, the use of red
The use of red,
was quite quaint. It was well used. Yeah.
But there's a color that, speaking of colors, there's a color that, grabbed your attention.
Yeah, there's a lady who walked in with this turquoise, but I was like, turquoise on stage! Turquoise!
Yeah!
She looked really good with it. I really liked that choice.
Yeah, and I think their choice was let the color shout, but not the character.
Exactly.
We barely heard what she was saying.
Barely heard her.
But we could see.
But the color shouted.
Communicated.
Communicated.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What else did you like?
What else did I like? I like the fact that after the character Brian, this guy who comes to all this bank robbery thing, so one of them is killed, and then the reappearance. It's like they were trying to cross that this world to the metaphysical side,
Right.
and just the use of smoke there.
Yes, was
Yeah,
just
yeah. That was a Wakanda moment for me.
spectacular. Spectacular. He levitated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he levitated. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
In the clouds.
In the clouds.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
that worked for me.
It takes your heart a little bit back.
Cars.
Eh,
Okay.
it's Kidogo.
So let's get to that part of what do you think
So
didn't work out?
challenges. I
Yeah.
think this will be the theme of the year, because I think I'm gonna really focus on scenography this year, and really I'm gonna push for multiple functions on set.
Yeah.
And so I felt like personally the set was static, right? And because it's so static, there's a lot of movement in the front, but the set is not giving us anything. So we're not
Where
traveling,
are we?
right? We're
Yeah.
not necessarily traveling, and everything is put in place, including the disco lights, the lights.
So everything
the
is in
smoke,
motion by this.
but the set stands still,
Yeah.
right? And it's slight things like seeing that, for instance, if you look at the back, that there's windows all over the place, right? And what if light can come through that window? What if someone could peep through the window? What if these sets could shift and rotate and give us a different shape and take us to a different location, where there were so many locations or settings within the play, and it doesn't necessarily have to only be proceeded with only changing the set pieces, right? Where we had a lifted stage, which is brilliant, by the way, and of course then it became many things at that same time. But I really wished this set would move, because I know that would have been the extra magic that would just make it
finish
a
the job.
hit, a full-on. It's a hit, but make it a full-on. Blow us unforgettable moment. That's being said, do you have anything to say about the set?
Still on set. The use of the microphones that are on stage. So then when you have also static microphones, because maybe you want them to amplify your sound, but then how now do you place your character so that whatever is static there is not masking anybody?
Exactly.
So at some point we were like, I wish she moved a little bit so that we can.
Slightly.
So that really should have been looked at, and
as well as it's a huge space, right?
Yeah.
The auditorium is massive.
Yeah.
Not just even where the audience is sitting, like the stage itself, right?
Yeah.
So if you drop only two characters and they have no energy, right? So you would need them to build up the energy, to fill up the entire space. And if you put them on one side of the room and the other side of the room is empty,
and we're still seeing it,
it sort of makes it feel empty.
Yeah.
And the emptiness carries beyond to like a point where it could be boring.
Do you think lighting design should have helped
that's
with
where
that?
we're going. Lighting design could have really helped with that. I can see that Braiban has some lights that work and some lights that don't work necessarily.
You can look around.
And I wish there was more creativity towards these lights. So I wish they were designed a bit better, especially for this show, because especially there's a light that hits this building, the one in the middle, and it's because it's this is the point, because it's paper, right? It's wallpaper. Then it reflects it back and sort of cuts off those buildings, and so it sort of kills the whole magic aspect of it, where we can be transported, right? So we see, it's just paper. It's just keeps reminding us that we're not gonna go anywhere, you know. And I think that has something to do with lighting and designing lighting in a way that this could look like a three-dimensional structure.
You know, an aspect of realism, like, or bringing us closer to your world,
this world you've created, this world of Kiri, right? So for me, these elements of making productions, the elements of design in productions, just need much more thinking about, much more sitting with the space, sitting with the actors in the space, and thinking about, right? And thinking about how you could block characters so that they feel huge, larger than life. And I lost that aspect. Maybe it's a choice of directing, I'm not sure.
Maybe we'll speak to the director.
Yes, maybe we'll speak to the director afterwards, but maybe it's a choice of directing that could have been pushed slightly further, where it should become a spectacle, right? I know we are going for this movie aspect of it, but how can that...
Toning down on things. And
Yes, how can that be a spectacle? The last thing is sound. The sound is brilliant. It is incredible. It washes over you. When the band is playing, right? And it sort of overrides.
And it's layered.
Yes, and it's layered. But the music overrides the actors when they're talking,
voices,
and yet there's drop mics, right? But so it's just a listening thing, a moment of listening where you could just slightly tune down the ambient sound, and
so
then
we can hear
what the actors are saying.
Communicating to us.
Actors should be able to project.
Of course, man.
Projection is actually...
We understand you've been working all through since February and even last week.
It just needs that last attack. Last hurrah. So what about you? What was so challenging about this? Do you think the challenges that they could work on?
I think something else is what is it? It keeps on disappearing. if I remember before. Yeah, but they brought up. Is it a spoiler? But I'm actually.
Yeah, they brought something on stage.
Something on stage that you need to come see. You're like, where is this coming from? How? Yeah. There was something we never expected.
You would never expect.
It's a moment that, how did you even bring that? So yeah, that was a surprise. And still, I was like, do you have to bring the real?
You have to bring the real. So this bridge, bridge of the real, and you're trying to create another world. And I wonder whether there could have been another way of designing this. So that it's not the real.
The real actual.
Yeah, because we are makers.
We can create.
You can create.
Yeah, you are gods. You can create.
You can create.
Yeah.
And I think the excitement would have been to see something created that's almost three-dimensional. Than the actual.
I guess. Yeah. We'll leave it at that point.
Yeah. But overall.
Overall, it's overall. I think what I'm feeling is we need such kind of stories, and it's actually a great attempt towards doing things in a different way, and I really appreciate that. And
truly,
they took the assignment of let's go back in time in terms of costume design and some elements of music, and and also let's tackle the current scenario.
Exactly.
So
without necessarily dropping them in like they're bombs. Like dropping them in. Carefully planning them and molding them together with the years. Like the time. But of course now we feel it because we're in the now, and intended to feel it in the now, but also in the then. So then that brings me to my other question about this play, which I think I'll leave it as a question mark. Is it happening in Kenya, and then I'll talk about then questioning the set, or is it happening in another location, another country, in another world, out of Africa? Where, so because of that, then some of the dances, some of the creative places felt in and out, and then when you mix them with language, then it felt even more disconnected. You would then somehow disconnect to it as an audience, because you would want it to come home fully. But of course you could see that even in the choreography there was a mixture of African but also with
a lot of Western.
With the Western. And I wonder about whether that was a choice, whether the creators were aware.
Maybe
or maybe they were not aware.
It's a question that you
it's a question. It's a question I'm leaving you with, because if it was intentional, then I feel like then it should be pushed more. Let it be maintained. Let it be as intentional as it could be, and consistent, and like now just put it out.
Exactly.
Don't hint.
Don't hint.
Don't wink, hint, nudge.
I mean, go
for it. Let it just be you know, I'll say like JJ, who's like,
Yeah,
this is what
this
I'm
is it,
creating unapologetically.
yeah,
And so this was sort of like dancing wasn't
in
finding
between the
itself.
lines, yeah.
Yes. But yeah.
Yeah, overally, yeah.
Overall,
Let
we are
people come
quite
watch it.
impressed.
Yeah, let
Yeah.
people come watch Kiri, and the fact that they're playing around with the words, they borrowed from other African countries.
Other African countries.
Yeah,
Khweva.
like Khweva is from Botswana. Tswana word.
Tswana word.
Yeah.
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 And it's an African word.
It's an African
and
word, yeah.
it's a company that's been here for 5 years, y'all.
Imagine.
5
and
years
they've
they've been creating
doing
work.
all these works,
They've been
yeah.
releasing work.
Yeah.
And they want to connect with you and they want you to come and connect with them.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's
You're
your
doing this
time, it's
weekend.
your chance.
Come.
See what these guys are prepared for the last 2 months.
You're not gonna regret it.
Ciao, adios.
Peace.
Peace
It's
out.
been lovely.
Yeah.